I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
Colby and Chip.
Wipe out. Apothesary.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. This is a $75 partner tier. You can partner and get your favorite band or a local band listened to and reacted to. So this is the band Apothesary. They're friends of Gershok, which is obviously best friends in our band. We're pretty. That's a band that we're closest to.
Yeah.
Right? I think we're like as a band, we're the closest to them. We have the most interactions with them. Definitely shout out to Crazy Little Phil, Flimsy Schoolcraft. Those are our people as well. But the big homie X, instead of using that for his band, he's using it to get exposure for other bands.
I know. I don't understand why he does it. That's so sweet.
It's pretty ridiculous as far as setting the bar high for just me as a person.
Yeah.
It's definitely a challenging thing when you see that happen. You're like, yo, I gotta step my my game up.
I might do like one other band, but like as much as he's done,
he's done it for like 3 or 4 bands.
I'd be like, you're gonna react to all the songs on my album.
Oh yeah, I know. That's the capitalist stories coming out there. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So I'm pretty excited to hear this song because if Gershok likes it. I keep saying Gershok, but X.
Yep.
Let's do it. Okay, so the name of this song is Elizabeth.
Yep.
For timely topical political commentary, you can hit us up at Middle America with Vin and Sori.
Behind the scenes, you want to see our family, check out My Sori Life.
Ooh, this looks like it's going to be a live action thingy-majiggy. All right, let's go.
And go.
Go.
That if you had my life, you would have killed yourself by now.
Apothesary, I see you. You good?
More contractions.
More contractions. Stand by! Stand by! That's why we pre-recorded all these songs.
So is this about basically we're all the same, like we all have some part of ourselves that's the shadow self, the part we don't like, or the part like, because it seemed like she was saying you want it, well they were singing, it seemed like you wish you could get rid of your past. Like I wasn't watching the lyrics, I was watching the video and just hearing some of the lyrics.
I was kind of traveling back and forth between...
Because in the video she stabbed somebody and then she uncovered the face and it was her own self.
Right. So I was going back and forth between the two because I really didn't want to miss it.
I know.
But, yeah. I think that's what it was about.
What are you trying to find right now?
Well, I'm trying to find an actual picture of the band.
That was the band right there. Right there, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's dig into the lyrics. They kind of had like, I remember one time somebody described Mudvayne as like math metal. They were like very purposeful about how many riffs in a.
You can't bump my chair right now.
In a like specific segment or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And there was a segment that like sounded like that. Like they were very purposeful about the riffage. I don't know how to describe. I'm doing a terrible job at it. Let me see if I can find what I'm talking about here. That's not it. Whatever. Anyway, I liked it. Whatever it was that I saw. I liked it a lot as far as the musicianship goes.
Yep.
I always look for like segments of a song that are different than just the verse chorus stuff. Mm-hmm. And then when they were saying we're all the same, and they were just letting it ring out, that was pretty cool. It was unique. It's not something I've heard a lot. I don't know why they named the song Elizabeth, although if you follow the thing, like at the end of the song, it was like wife kills abusive husband or something like that. And then the subject of the song, like she was running, like she was trying to do good, like the guys took the bag and she intervened, but then she got stabbed. But then like when it replayed, she was able to stab the other person, and then when she saw that she stabbed the other person, it turned out to be her. And so it seems like it was one of those things where it's like, you know, no matter how much good you try to do, it ends up, you know, with some terrible sort of consequence to it. You know, the whole no good deed goes unpunished thing.
Right.
And then and then the other side of that is if you kill somebody in self-defense and then you look and it ends up being you, that also has a pretty interesting sort of, you know, message, which is at the end of the day, we're all human beings.
Right.
So if you kill a man, you know, there's a sense in which you are killing yourself, even though you're killing the person to protect yourself.
Right.
I'm not particularly certain how they relate to the lyrics, but we'll see in a second. I have no self, just a reflection of those around me. Whew! That's pretty crazy.
1,000 hearts intertwined as one.
A million worlds apart.
Wow.
That's a good line. Because a lot of people...
We're all connected, but we're very separated.
Yeah, but a lot of people have their own identities based on the opinions and thoughts of other people around them, right? So it's just a reflection of those around you. Like, you don't have your own sense of individuality and self because it's always informed by people around you.
Yeah. Yep.
You know that if you had my life, you would have killed yourself by now. You fall for memories that weren't yours to start. I know why the cage birds sing. It's all she has. That's a good line. Because, there's that poem, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
Why? Why does it sing?
I think Maya Angelou wrote that poem. Figures you wouldn't know it. Did you even know who Maya Angelou was? Yeah, I figured.
Why?
Well, I mean...
What insult are you pushing my way?
It's not. See, right there. Published in 19...
Well, why
Maya
did you assume
Angelou.
I wouldn't know? Because I don't know a lot.
She holds for us to see the sufferings of the African Americans. So, obviously, that's not something that you were... Your educators were very concerned about. But...
Oh. Yeah.
What?
I don't know. Like, I don't remember it, but that doesn't mean... It doesn't mean I wasn't taught it, babe.
Okay, all right. The caged bird sings for freedom, blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
So the whole thing is just about, I know why the caged bird sings. But Apothesary used the line, and they brilliantly said, it's all she has. Mm-hmm. So Maya Angelou's original poem was about, the sufferings
She sings because she wants freedom.
Of black people, right?
Yeah.
But here, he's saying... Song is all that she has, and sometimes it's true. Like art becomes the refuge of people who are oppressed or suffering or whatever you want to say. Of course, according to some people, nobody's oppressed anymore. Everybody's happy in America, so people just exaggerate.
What? Is that something that's happened on your fireside?
Huh?
Is that something that came out on your
certain perspectives of people that
Oh
think
my god.
everybody's on level ground now. Oh. Women are on level ground. Everybody's on level ground now. People are just complaining.
Had to have been a white male that said that. Had to have been.
Why you like that? You don't know that.
Was it?
I'm not gonna say.
It was.
I'm not
you
gonna
don't
feed.
have to say.
I'm not gonna feed into
you
your.
You don't have to say. It's
into
obvious.
your bigotry. I'm not gonna feed
it's
into
obvious.
it.
It's obvious.
I'll never let you go. I swear I'll never let you go. This life will tear us apart, but there is one thing that I know: we're all the same. See, I'm not sure that we're all the same is a positive thing. Especially when you look at it in the context of, I have no self, I'm just a reflection of those around me.
Yeah.
Like, there's a sense, but, this is the whole back and forth between collectivism and individualism. Mm-hmm. Where people are trying to find that sort of middle ground where you can kind of keep both of those in tension. Because there is a sense in which, if you say we're all the same, in the sense of we're all human beings, crowned with glory and honor, we're image bearers of God, so we're all the same, then sure, that's a beautiful thing. Or we're all the same as in, we're all Americans. Or, like, there's a lot of ways that phrase, we're all the same, becomes a positive statement. But there's also a lot of ways in which us all being the same is an extremely negative, dangerous sentiment.
Yep.
So when the song starts off with, I have no self, I'm just a reflection of those around me.
That's what is tipping you off to the fact that it's a negative thing.
Right. I'm like, I'm not sure that we're all the same, and this one is a good thing. But then again, it's like, this life will tear us apart. But then he's saying, but I know that we're all the same. So it might be a positive thing. It might be, because he's saying, I'll never let you go, I'll never let you go. This life will tear us apart, but I know that we're all the same.
Yeah.
Meaning, circumstances and whatever can tear people apart or put them at odds with each other, but you have to remember ultimately that we're all the same.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, it could be a positive sentiment. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I wonder if we keep going, if we'll figure it out.
For every me that passes away, how much of you would you be willing to take? Lay me down in the river of all my past mistakes. Well, for every me that passes away, how much of you? Because if you say we're all the same, right? So then every part of myself that passes away is also a part of yourself that's passing away, because you and I are the same.
Yep.
So if I'm losing, or if I'm fading away, or if I'm dying, or whatever it is, and the same thing is happening to you, and then
so are they saying, how much of you are you willing to take? In other words, how much of yourself are you willing to lose? Like, if you keep letting me die, it's going to keep affecting you. So at some point, you have to step in and do something about this. Right.
So, if you lay the guy down in the river of all his past mistakes, if you don't release him from that, see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't let him go and maybe it's a song about forgiveness to some degree. If you just keep laying him down in his past mistakes, then you're hurting yourself too. You're not just hurting the other person. I think that's true. Like, that's why I don't spend a lot of time, like, going after people that I feel like have crossed me. I just don't, I don't spend a lot of time, like, going back and reminding them of their past mistakes. Like, I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't mean I don't want you to be happy and healthy and go on with life. I'm just not going to have you in my life. But I don't see the value in constantly beating a person down about shit that they did in the past. Like, why? Because I agree, like, you definitely lose some of yourself if you do that.
Because you want to make sure they're sorry for what they did.
Yeah.
You're not like that, though.
Well, but I mean, I think that the person's actions going forward demonstrates whether or not they're sorry. Not, you taking a pound of flesh out of them. Like,
that's true. No, you're right.
Because
somebody can say, I'm sorry all day long.
Right.
But if their actions don't reflect that, any sort of change at all, then you have to say,
well, yeah, and if they cry their eyes out and blah, 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 and then, they grovel to the degree that you feel that they're actually sorry, but then they go back and do it again, like, what's the point? See what I'm saying? Like...
True.
The fall of all that I've built lies within a different world. How many doors do you think you can open before we find that place where you and I are both alive?
Oh, wow, that sounds cool.
When everything falls, I don't want it to end. Yeah, so it just looks like looks to me like a relationship song.
Oh.
Maybe the girl's name is Elizabeth. He did some terrible thing to her. And,
really? That's what you...
Well, yeah, because it says, lay me down the river of my past mistakes. See what I'm saying? That second verse where he says, every me that passed away, how much of you would you be willing to take? So it looks like he's, life is tearing them apart. Something happened that caused some separation between the two of them.
Yep. And
it looks to me like she was his whole world. When everything falls, I don't want it to end. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? Yep. So that's, to me, it looks like something like that happened. And he's trying to get back to the way things were before that terrible thing happened, but
it's impossible.
It's probably not going to happen. And then the very next song on the record is "Accept Loss Forever."
Oh.
See what I'm saying? So it looks like it's...
Well, then why is he saying, "But we're all the same"? Is that in the context of it being a relationship song? What do you think he means by that?
Well, I just... Oh,
you think he's saying, like, I screw up and you screw up too? We know something.
I know something you don't know.
Yes. Shout out to the big homie.
We're all the same. We're all the same. What do you mean? What are you asking?
So why? Well, the only reason why I would think that somebody would say we're all the same in the context of what you just said in a relationship would be kind of like as an excuse, like I fuck up, you fuck up. But it doesn't seem like that's what he's saying.
Well, I think the we're all the same is in direct relationship to life will tear us apart. So we're gonna be torn apart. We're gonna be life is gonna create situations that put us at odds with each other.
Yeah.
And if we remember that we're all the same, then we'll be able to make it. If we don't, then we won't be able to make it. But I also agree with you. I think he's saying to some degree, everybody makes mistakes, which people generally, when you are the offended party, people generally don't say that. It's only when you are the offender that people say that.
Right.
But I think it's true. Like if you plan on being in a long-term relationship, you better have that ideology. Because if you don't, you won't survive the relationship.
Right.
Because there's gonna be something where something happens and somebody gets offended or hurt or whatever. Mm-hmm. And if you are constantly, that's why I always make exceptions. That's how I plot my life. I say, okay, 98% of the people that I interact with, I'm not gonna fight with. So I'm not going to fight with you. Like, if you cross me or whatever, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to be dramatic. Like, you're just out. That's it. But then there's 2% of people that I'm like, okay, these people I want in my life for the rest of my life, so I'm going to fight like hell. Right? So, like, you're one of those people. It doesn't matter what you do, what you say. There's literally nothing you could do to where I'd be like, okay, boom, I'm done with Sori. Like, that would never happen. And you know that. Mm-hmm. Because there's other people in my life that are in that category, and, Mm-hmm. So it'll never happen to, you know what I'm saying? But to me, that's kind of how I plot it. That's why I have the emotional energy to kind of go back and forth and talk about the same thing 80 million times, because I don't invest that emotional energy in other people, because I know that I have a finite resource.
Yeah.
You know? But if you do that with everybody, and if you fight with everybody, then you're going to be a lot less forgiving.
Yeah.
Of significant relationships.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I think that it works for you. I just don't know, like, some of the stuff that you just let go. Ouch. Some of the stuff that you just let go, I'm just like, how do you do that? You know?
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like you're like, fine, I'm gonna let that go. It looks like you let it go. It's not even something that's gonna be coming up in your mind. Attraction.
Well, I let it go. I mean, nobody's trying to kill me.
Yeah, I don't know how to get to that sort of a place.
Well, some of it is experiences, because there have been people that have tried to kill me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm home now, like, nobody's trying to kill me. Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody said something about you on Facebook. Somebody said this, somebody said that. Like, none of these people have even, like...
Somebody said, I'd like to throat punch both of these idiots. I said, I guarantee if we were face to face, you wouldn't be saying that same thing to Vin. Or dumbasses. I don't remember what they called us, but... Oh, you would. That's so convenient to say in a comment section where you're not face to face with the person.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, but in real this is obviously a significant relationship to this guy. Mm-hmm. So in real significant relationships, you do kind of have, even if you're the offended party, you do kind of have to say, like, we're all the same. So that's why you'll come to me and say blah 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 blah, this and this happened, and it's because I know that just because I don't have a struggle with that particular area, I have a struggle with other areas, and it just so happens the things that I struggle with don't affect our relationship. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, like, I see somebody walking down the street, I immediately size them up and say, oh, they're favoring this place where they walk, and so if I was to da-da-da, like that's bad. Like, how to physically harm somebody is bad, and I struggle with that because I've been, for years I was trained to, whatever. But that doesn't affect our relationship. So it's easy for me to go, to you, because there's some things that you have weaknesses in that affect our relationship. So it's easy for me to go that. But just because my weaknesses don't necessarily affect our relationship directly, I don't get to, rule that over you. Mm-hmm. We're the same. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, well, that's a very mature way of looking at it, because I don't feel like that I wouldn't be like that if I was you.
No, you probably wouldn't.
I wouldn't, because my issue, if it didn't affect our relationship, then I would just be like, you're always fucking up. What the heck?
Right. Well, yeah, that's,
Did you fuck up today? Did you yesterday? How about the day before?
How about the day before? Yeah, but some of that was, like I said, nobody's trying to kill me, so I'm like, okay, nobody's trying to kill you, the homeboy from YouTube, whatever, like, I doubt very highly that he would want any real live smoke if we were ever in the same room together. So it's like, okay, boom. Like, I don't really see that as maturity. It's just like, I have a small group of people who I want in my life until I'm dead. Mm-hmm. And those are, then I'll do literally anything for to make sure that happens. So there's that. But in order for that to happen, in order for there to be a peace, you've got to have to surrender some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. You have to surrender your rights to some degree of, like, being offended or being upset if you want to make a relationship continue. And
but what
there's
do you do?
There's times you have to bail
that?
people out. What do you mean? Do I swallow?
What do you do when you feel offended or
well,
like?
I mean, for me, it's just Christianity. Like, I married a sinful person, and you married a sinful person.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means I can expect that you're going to do something bad to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so then when it happens, I'm going to go, there it is. Okay, we were expecting this to happen. Like, you can't hold somebody to a standard of perfection. That's a quick way to destroy a relationship. Like if you want to end a relationship, just hypocritically hold somebody to a standard of perfection. You know, you do it with me. You've let me off the hook of a whole bunch of shit. You know, it's just for you that there's certain categories where you would have a very, very hard time with letting go. That I am very quick about letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the difference. But again, I was in a previous relationship where if I didn't let those things go, we would have been done. We wouldn't have lasted for 15 years. So if I held on to those things, then we, forget it.
Yeah.
So, and I think sometimes, like, some of the things that we get upset about in relationships are sociological. They're not really, like, it's like, dudes are like, oh, you're going to let your girl talk to you like that? And initially the guy wasn't offended at all.
Oh.
But now that his boys told him, now he's offended. Same thing with women. Like, there's certain things that would, like if a guy were to say, give me a sandwich or whatever, and they have a certain, cadence with each other. And she's completely fine with it, but then her, ultra feminist friends go, ah!
Yeah.
Then, now all of a sudden she's mad. It's like, well, are you really mad about that? Like, really? Because you were fine with it before.
Right.
So, there's a, so the whole we're all the same thing in the context of relationship is important. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, what do you give the song?
Oh, jeez.
8.4 for me.
It was probably an 8.7, 8.9, 8.7. 8.8.
8.8, alright. Yeah, I can rock with 8.8.
Alright.
I'll shoot it up a little bit. 8.8. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.